All right, let's get down to business. I'm not playing games today. I didn't want to make this video until I had all my thoughts together, but I'm seeing way too many people victim blame. Now, I've already told you guys before, if you guys are like subscribers that continuously come here, thank you for waiting. Thank you for waiting. I have been talking about doing a consent video for months and months since I've been on YouTube. The very first video I ever made, I was talking about I'm about to make a consent video, and I've never had a chance to. I've never had the drive to because it's a sad subject. I've got other things to do. School's about to start. But now, this Polite, I don't know him from a can of dog water. I don't know him. If you want tea on that, I don't have it. But what I do have is knowledge nuggets. Consent. Now, Americans love to pride themselves on, oh, well, if you want to go somewhere else and it's lower for, I don't give a darn what's going on in China, what's going on in Japan, what's going on, whatever, because those are people over there. I'm not from there. If I was from there, I would care a whole lot more. I can only do something domestically because I live here, because I know the laws here. When I was in South Carolina, there was an incident that happened with one of my friends. And because the age of consent is so low in that podunk, disgusting place, nothing could have been done. Supposedly, she consented. To be quite frank with you, I got into an argument with tons of people. And I don't really understand why. Like, okay, there's so many things I got to get through, okay? First off, let's talk about this whole Polite situation. I told you I didn't have no tea. I'm only going to use this situation as an example. And to let you guys know right now, when black girls say something, we're always told, oh, well, didn't you know? Didn't you have some foresight? That's one thing is also a hindrance because they think that we should know better, that we should know da-da-da-da. But when a white girl cries or something, everyone's gathering around her no matter what happens, no matter if she was screaming at one moment, crying another. An example, 50-some-year-old Angela was screaming at Michael, but then when she's crying, everybody's gathering around her. Really interesting, but whatever. This girl, I don't care if people think that she's 14 and old enough to know what's going on. It is not her fault. Your brain does not stop developing until 25. That is where I think the age of consent should stay. You should be able to get married. 18 is too low. Whoever sat there and thought 18 was a good idea, you are freaking dead wrong. Laws should not regulate your moral code. Laws can change in an instant. Laws can change anytime. So what if it was like, oh, you can only kill one person in your life. So what you going to do? Go out there and kill someone before your time runs out? Or are you just not going to kill nobody because that's your moral code? I do the 5-finger rule. You should not be 5 years. 18 and 25, that does not look good. 18, 19, fine, whatever. You probably are in the same school. 18, 20, that's still pushing it. That's pushing it to me. To me, that's uncomfortable. I'm uncomfortable with 18 and 20 because you guys are at different situations in your life, and I'm not going to argue with anyone. I'm not going to argue with a single person. I made this long list of reasons why no one should be dating anyone 20 years older than them or marrying someone 20 years older than them. Here are the reasons why age is not just a number. Different maturity levels depending on when the relationship began. Susceptible to manipulation by the older person. They have lived longer and know more about life. Susceptible to not understanding each other and just calling them differences. Question that must be asked. When did y'all meet? Does someone have to wait for the picking to be ripe? Freaking scrubs. Drastic power imbalance. What do you have in common? If generations divide your relationship, it's not worth it. End of discussion. Some girl that I knew a very long time ago got in my face because I was disrespecting her family or whatever because her mother was forced as a child bride to marry some old geezer that just so happened to be her father. You should want to not make the same mistakes your parents made. And she's like, oh, well, my parents are happy. You don't know what your parents are. I didn't know what my parents were until I was an adult. Parents show you what they want to show you. If you think it's bad, it's worse. If you think it's okay, it could be bad. If you think it's great, it could be worse. Your parents, their job is to make sure you live your life and are able to understand life enough to go out there when we're this magical 18, even though 18 is still a teenager. Magical, mystical 18. What's the difference between 17 and 18? The moment you hit 18, guys are looking at you, which is disgusting. That is disgusting. Disgusting. You should really feel ashamed. No 30-some-year-old dude should be with an 18-year-old. I don't care if that 18-year-old is like what older guys do. And don't come at me with, oh, women can do this. What do we usually see? What do we usually see? Y'all love to talk about what we usually see until it's y'all. What do we usually see? For every disgusting, putrid, vile, nasty man, I'm sure there's some woman simp helping him get to whoever he needs to get to. Because women are easier to talk to than men. Because the women will go talk to the girls will go over to the guy. How do you think R. Kelly? How do you think R. Kelly? How do you think R. Kelly? Did you think R. Kelly had some old crusty dude going over to these girls? Or did you think he had whatever her name is and another whatever her name is beatboxing around saying, yeah, he'll make you famous. Yeah, he'll get you together. Women simps. Like women simps. There's no doubt about it. The age of consent should be 25. Anyone who has a problem with that, you're trying to be with minors. You're trying to be with minors. That's it. I don't have a problem with that. I think if you're around that same age, that's where you belong. 20, 21, you can be with someone who's 20 and 21. 25 and 56 is pushing it. Oh, let people do what they want. No, because you're ruining our society. You're ruining our society. When people have issues like this, it manifests in their actions. People will commit suicide. People will kill other people. People will harm other people because their psyche is put out of whack because they're in a situation that they were not ready for. And as I said before, I don't care 15, 16, 17, 18. If you are groomed, you have no choice in the matter. You have no choice in the matter. You are not old enough to make that decision. Do not take this polite crap, this loser garbage, scrub good for nothing piece of garbage. Do not put his actions on this 14-year-old girl. Do not say, oh, she should have known better. That's why we're going to keep having this happen in our community. And because I have a voice to speak it, I will speak. This girl is not at fault. Anyone who says that, you are trash, and you probably will allow your daughter to be harmed or someone that you know to be harmed. You probably will. Women simps need to stop. Stop saying, oh, well, it was everybody else's fault, but this guy, it was his fault. If he was abused, it was whoever failed him when he was a child. It's going to keep happening. People, oh, R. Kelly was abused, get him help and still hold him accountable. Because this will not stop. How long is this going to have to go on? How long is this going to have to go on, guys? How long is this going to have to go on? It's men's fault for not checking them and for still having that mentality of, oh, the younger the better. Like, disgusting. You freaking make me sick. You freaking make me want to throw up right now. I have a pain in my stomach thinking about any of this. And it is women simps' fault for being the power behind them. If you did not stand by them, they would not have access to these girls. And it is not a woman's fault. You do not blame a mom who didn't know. You're like, oh, well, you should have known. You should have known. You should have known. Blame him. Blame him. How hard is it? You women simps. You women simps make me sick. I hated the fact that all these guys got together and decided when a guy opens a door, they're a simp. They use that word incorrectly so that they made a bunch of boys hate a bunch of girls for no freaking reason. It's the equivalent to the stupid, dumb, no homo, where you can do something nice with a guy and be like, oh, no homo. Stupid. That really was a thing. That wasn't just something on TV. That was really a thing in my high school that happened. It was super dumb. It's the equivalent. But with women simp, people get hurt. People die. People get emotionally drained. People get scarred for life when a woman simps. It's dangerous. Either the woman dies or someone around them dies or someone around them's hurt. Y'all don't know what simping is. Almost 100% of the time, woman simps end in misery for them, only them. But a guy simps, oh, you lose $2 to your favorite streamer on Twitch, but you ain't got no money anyway, so simping is when you put someone before you for no reason, no equal exchange of any value. And I don't think allowing some loser to be around little girls or little boys is equal exchange of anything. That's negative exchange. Nothing, not $1 billion trillion would allow me to do such a thing. Not $1 trillion dillion zillion dollars. I would live under a bridge before I sat there and accepted any currency for allowing that to happen. But that's just me. With this whole consent thing goes into how old should someone be, how the age gap should be no more than 5 years. And that is past adolescence. That's past 25. That's what I'm saying, past 25. I'm not talking about 18 and 23. I'm not talking about 18 and 23, all right? I'm talking about 25 and 30. That is fine, because guess what? You guys are already freaking adults. 25 and 35, I do not accept that. And you guys can be mad and go talk to your parents your darn selves, because your mother was probably abused. If you're talking about there's a 40-year age gap, your mother was probably abused, and you should probably stop arguing with me and start going to your mom and asking her some questions. Ask your dad some questions. Why did you marry my mom when she was 14? Why did she have me when she was 15? Oh, it was a different time then. The funny thing about people when they talk about it was a different time, this is the same earth. There's no different time. The only different time I see is when we don't have, literally when there's sticks and stones on the ground, we're not going to make no IV. Duh. There has to be another alternative thing. But we have always had a brain. We've always known that this is a child. They look like a child. If they don't look like a child, it does not matter. What's their age? Age is not just a number. And I refuse to sit here and allow anybody that, if you watch me and you think age is just a number, leave. Because that's not good. That's not good. I'm not here for that. If you think age is just a number, I'm not playing games. Please exit, because I'm not here for it. If your mom was very young when your dad got with her, that's your family. Go figure that out. Don't say it like it's my fault. Did I make your mom be a child bride, or did your father make your mom a child bride? They're few and far between a young guy is with an old woman. And it's really interesting, because women are most times this socially constructed legal age 18 woman forced to be in this prostitute relationship with an older man, while a younger man like Michael, he only has to do his prostitution when she goes to Africa. When Angela goes to Africa from 90 Day Fiancé. Oh my goodness, 90 Day Fiancé makes me sick. I see all these old geezers, men and women going over some country that's not America, because they think they have less value and they have less rights. So they think that they don't know nothing. And that's why Angela treats Michael that way. But that's a different story entirely. I'm talking about children. Those people are adults. Despite them being adults, Angela and Michael are two different phases. It's another thing. Michael wants a child, and Angela cannot provide that child, nor will she do the work it takes. She's like, oh, get a surrogate, oh, get some other. You ain't gonna put nobody in nothing, and then it's just either gonna be me. Then find another man. Find another man who doesn't want a baby. I'm sure there is one out there. You are hindering Michael. You old geezers, you old freaking geezers, men and women, you old freaking geezers. Find somebody who doesn't want a child. If you come up with this thing, if you come up with this blockage in your relationship that is stopping you from moving further, end it. Because you are literally siphoning the life out of them. You are siphoning the life out of them, ruining their life. Age is not just a number. And this 14-year-old girl in this polite nonsense, it doesn't matter if she knew, if she was told, if anything, she is underage. It is no longer in her hands. This situation, to be honest, was never in her control at all. Stop, because she's a little girl. Stop putting it in little girls' hands like it's her fault. That's how people stay getting abused. She's going to think she's used and useless, and she's going to keep being with older men if all these women, all these black women, keep saying, well, she should have known. Weren't there signs? And then going to the mom doing the same freaking crap. But Polite's sitting there. Polite's sitting there alive still. Polite's sitting there. R. Kelly's sitting there alive still. But you guys would rather throw harmful words at these at the little girl and at the mom so they can contemplate suicide. But y'all say nothing to Polite. Y'all say nothing to R. Kelly. Y'all say nothing to these guys that you know blame well. Oh, everyone knew what he was doing. So why didn't you stop it? Why didn't you make it known? Why? Why didn't you say every day when he walked into a room, pedophile? That's a pedophile right there. Why? Why is there more leniency to pedophiles than to the children that are abused, especially black little girls? Why? Why are women still supporting R. Kelly? Why are people like, well, I don't know, I just like his music, I don't know. Why is it so hard? Why is it so easy to disrespect someone who looks like your mother, but it's so easy to respect someone who disrespected your entire woman's side of the family? There's a lot of blame that can happen, but that gets nothing done. You know what gets something done? Actually doing something. And telling this 14-year-old girl she should have known better isn't doing something. And I've seen one too many people say that, one too many black people say that, and I'm sick of it. It stops. A lot of people are saying a lot of nothing right now that this girl will see, because despite how much everyone wants to talk about how they want to protect children when a gay person is on stage kissing, or when Lizzo is at a basketball game in a thong or something, as much as you guys want to say you want to protect children, you don't want to protect children because you want to marry children, because you want to marry off children. You don't want to have children have other children. And I say to the little girl who was abused, your life is not over. This will not define you, despite what other people will say, because we live in a horrible world. Your life is more valuable than how you were treated, than how you're going to be treated because of this situation. Polite does not own you. Any girl or child out there who was ever abused, who have grown up in silence, quiet, he or whoever hurt you, they do not own you. He does not own your story. It is your story to tell if you choose to tell it. And you are not used. You don't have to just accept less than your value and take it into yourself and make it something that you don't want it to. You are not destined to be with older men all your life. You will find someone around your age that loves you. You are loved in this moment. What Polite showed you was not love or affection. It was heinous. It was evil. And evil people live here. Whether your mom knew or whether you knew, only she knows what she knows. Only you know what you know. And you are not capable of making rational decision as a child, boy or girl. Children see the world through a lens. As we get older, the lens enlarges. As you're a child, even 18, 19, 20, your lens is still smaller than that of a 30-year-old, than that of a 40-year-old. It's not your fault if you can't see what they see. It is their responsibility, the adults, to make sure nothing happens to you. At 14, you do not have the capacity to make rational decisions. If you thought it was a good idea to be with him, it was not your decision to make regardless. This does not fall upon you. As I said again, you are loved. But what Polite gave you was not love. Do not allow any man to tell you that's love. And with that, I'm done.